After finishing and turning in your perspective packet, you are going to start drawing a rough draft, which is like a sloppy copy to get ready to do your final copy. You're going to use manila paper. You don't have to shade your rough draft, but you do need to have all of your requirements. That's 6 pieces of furniture, which would be, in this case with a kitchen, things like cabinets, wall mount cabinets, refrigerator, center island, that kind of thing. 15 room details, things that make it look like an actual lived-in room, like vase, blender that somebody erased, towel, step stool, things like that. You need to have at least 1 door and 1 window, and then any kind of other details that make it look like a real lived-in room. So to set this up, I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to use your piece of manila paper. You're going to need for this a T-square. They call it a T-square obviously because it's shaped like a T. First thing we're going to do is to find our vanishing point that's going to be right in the middle of the paper. So to find that exact middle, we're going to use the T-square to draw a big X right through the middle. To help get exactly on the corners, I like to make a little mark on each of the corners so I have something to aim for. Okay, then you'll see with the T-square there's a side that has a little bit of a ledge. When you're trying to draw a long straight line, have the ledge part facing up. So here I am doing my X through the middle of the paper. Make sure that those corners are lined up exactly. It's very important in one-point perspective to make sure that everything is very precise. You need a good sharp pencil. For those of you who like to use mechanical pencils, this is a good project for mechanical pencils. Get my pencil on the other corner. Make sure it's lined up exactly. Draw that line. Okay, right in the very middle, darken that up a little bit. Don't make a great big huge dot, just make a little dot so that you can find it. This is your vanishing point that you need for the whole project. Okay, this next step you are going to do every day that you are working on the project. Take your T-square with the ledge part facing down, hook it over the edge of your desk. And if you're sitting at one of the tables, you're going to need a drawing board. Those are on the counter and I can show you where those are. Then you're going to get the bottom edge of your paper so that it's exactly lined up with the clear edge of the T-square. And I'm going to show what that looks like on this side. Okay, so the clear plastic edge of the paper of the T-square is exactly lined up with the paper. You're going to need a little piece of tape. So get a piece of tape like this from the roll on my desk. Don't bring the whole roll to your table. Tear it into 4 pieces. And then you're going to tape down your corners. This process of straightening up your paper and taping it down, you will do every day that you're working on your rough draft or your final copy. And I will show you why in a minute. Okay, once you have it all straightened up and taped down, here's how we do the back wall. So I'm going to get the wood part of my T-square balanced on top of the vanishing point. It's okay if it's a little above or a little bit below. I'm going to start with, and I'm going to draw a little darker than you would ordinarily. I'm going to start with a horizontal line going exactly corner to corner. Okay. Then I'm going to get my T-square going vertically, and I'm going to get exactly on that corner. I'm going to do a vertical down to the next line, slide my T-square over, and do another vertical. Now here, the benefit to having your paper straightened up and taped down is that no matter where your T-square is, you know that all your vertical lines will be parallel to each other. And no matter where it is going horizontally, you know that all those lines will be parallel. If your paper's crooked, the whole thing is going to turn out crooked and it won't be correct. So now I'm ready to do my last horizontal. This is the moment of truth. If my paper is straightened up and taped down, and if I was careful to go exactly precisely on the corners, these 2 corners will match up. Okay? If they don't, then probably your paper is not straight, or maybe you missed one of the corners. So now I'm going to darken in so that you can see them better, the lines on the back wall. Okay, you can also erase the X on the back wall. You don't need that anymore, but don't erase your vanishing point because you do need that. Okay, now as you are looking at this, this is your whole floor area. This is your back wall. These are your two side walls, and this is your ceiling. So I'm going to show how to make a few pieces of furniture. Let's say if I want a dresser over here, I'm going to use my T-square, hook the ledge over. I know that I always start with just a normal squared off side view first. So I'm going to start with a horizontal line for the bottom of the dresser. I'm just doing the side view first. The front view is going to be kind of like it was in your packet, where it will be angled. And close off the top of it. As you do this, you're going to be getting better at estimating those distances, but it's very likely at first that you're going to have to erase little edges. Okay, I've got my side view. Next step, I can connect the corner to the vanishing point. Remember, if you don't want to draw the line the whole way, you don't have to. As long as you can tell that those two are lined up, just draw it as far as you want your furniture to go. There's the next line, and here's the last corner. Make sure that that's lined up with your vanishing point. Okay, step 1 is complete. I've got the squared off side view. Step 2 is complete. I've got the angled lines connecting to the vanishing point. Step 3 is to close it off. So I've got a horizontal in front, slide my T-square back, close it off with a horizontal. You can see there's a little extra there. Erase as you go to avoid confusion. Here is a vertical in front, so I'm going to have a vertical in back. Another good thing to do as you go, besides erasing the little extras, erase where those floor lines go through because you wouldn't see them in your piece of furniture. Then I can add on my drawers the same way we did on the packet. If you have a window or a picture or anything else that's on your angled wall, it also has to be angled in order to be flat on the wall. So if I want a window here, I'm going to start with my vertical line. That's for the side of the window. Then I'm going to connect the top of it to the vanishing point. Just draw it as far as I want my window to go. Connect the bottom to the vanishing point. And close it off. Erase the little extra. If you want one of those window pane things in the middle, that line would connect to the vanishing point, and then the middle line would just be vertical. I'm going to sketch a few of these things here without the T-square. If you have a rug on the floor, you're going to start with the horizontal line, connect it to the vanishing point, close it off. Okay? If you have ceiling lights like the ones we have in our classroom, use your T-square. You're going to start with your horizontal lines, angle them to the vanishing point. That's not very horizontal. So you'll see that they kind of go across. They change their angle as they go across. Close them off with a horizontal. Okay? Last thing I want to show on this one, if you have something sticking out from the back wall, this was on the back page of your packet, you are going to start by drawing in, I'll make a little table here, drawing in the back of the piece of furniture first, where it's pushed up against the wall. You need that because you need your corners to connect to the vanishing point. Then you're going to connect all those corners to the vanishing point, but remember, instead of drawing it back to the vanishing point, you're going to make it come out from the vanishing point instead. Put your pencil on the corner, get that lined up, draw that going out. Third corner, same thing, get it lined up, make it coming out. Last corner, this is where it's good to draw very light because you are going to have to erase most of this. Okay, again, doesn't look like much until we close it off. So if I have a horizontal in back, decide where I want to close it off. I'm going to have a horizontal line in front, Those have to be parallel. You can erase as you go. Then I'm going to make a vertical line going down from this corner, slide my T-square over, make another vertical, and then close it off. Okay, and those two should match up pretty closely. Then you would just erase all of the stuff that wouldn't show, which if you drew lightly will not be difficult. Any piece of furniture that you do, you're always going to start with the normal squared off side view or back view first. That's always step one. Step two is always connecting the corners to the vanishing point, all the corners that you would see. Step three is always closing it off so that the back line is parallel to the front line, and that's true no matter what you're making in one point perspective.